like to transition into really the theme of this magazine edition, about preparing contract management function for the now and the future. As you know, our contract management standard was accepted by the DoD as the foundation for a single level certification, and there are changes of the requirements coming along. Well, while all this was evolving, you were already on the road. You were developing your plan, the flight plan to fly, fight, and win. It's a very powerful path for the workforce and to move beyond the business advisor role. How do you see these programs, particularly the one, your plan, the flight plan, developing competencies needed for the future of contracting?
Yeah, it's a great question, and frankly, I'll tell you, some of this is just dumb luck on my part. Where the Congress and NCMA have hit a revival at the same time. And so the partnership that we've had has really been, I think, very beneficial. But let me talk for a minute about where we're going with all of that. Because I've had my fingers in a lot of different pots here as we try to move out together. In year one of our flight plan and mission-focused business leadership, my line of effort one team, line of effort one is building mission-focused business leaders. Really essential that we understand what is different about building a contracting technician from building what I call a mission-focused business leader. And as you point out, moving from a compliance focus to a mission focus, and from a business advisor role to a business leader role for the missions that we serve. That certainly has a lot that we've always had, which is we have to know our primary weapon system, which is contracting and pricing. We need to know that. We have to be experts in that. So we cannot offboard that. But what I think we have done to not value our people as much as they are valuable, when you reach a competence level in contracting and as a journeyman and an expert in government contracting, that's when I have asked the Air Force to start investing in people, not stop investing in them. Because when you show the capability and the capacity to deal with that much complexity as an expert, now I am bringing in outside courses with DAU's help, but also on my own, to make sure that in partnership with the Darden School of Business and UNC Keenan Flagler School of Business and other top business schools in America, we're actually pouring into them knowledge of balance sheets and income statements and financial statements, knowledge of private venture capital and private equity and institutional investors. Why? Well, the why is because of the adversaries we face. The adversaries we face are not coming after us necessarily initially with bombs and bullets or with diplomacy even, but rather with information and with economic power that is incredibly powerful. And so they really are incurring into our intellectual property through our capital markets. It is much easier for a small U.S. company that's very innovative and fast-moving, but doesn't have a big cost structure to do business with China than it is for them to do business with the DoD today. And that bothers me deeply. We need our business leaders to step up and find new solutions that are compliant, yes, but are focused on the mission and focused on protecting the intellectual property, not just between companies in America, but in America overall. So I see a lot of work to do on the upper end of the training scale. So when you become an expert in contracting, now we need to make you an expert in business. And I've had this conversation with you, Craig, and NCMA, where NCMA can play a role there, where looking at the potential, even on the industry side of the contracting profession, to develop a clear path from the contracting profession to CFO and CEO roles. And looking at our top contracting leaders as also top business and financial analysts, so that they understand how to make a balance sheet sing. And they understand access to U.S. capital markets and trustworthy capital markets. But in the defense business, they also understand what our adversary is up to in those same spaces. And that's what I'm building our senior contracting officials to do in the Air Force. I believe in the next generation, if we are successful with this change, the folks that replace me in the next 10 years, my goodness, will they be so much more capable than I am. And that is really the vision for